One of my favorite Bible stories is found in the book of 2 Kings, chapter 4. And it's about a woman who had been married to a prophet of God. And when we think about prophets in Bible times, we don't think about them in terms of those people who look into a crystal ball or look up at the stars and see the future. Rather, we understand them as people who would give forth God's message. And so this man was a prophet of God, but he died, leaving his wife, a widow, and his two sons. Now, unfortunately, when he died, he had some debts, and the creditors came and they were going to take the two sons as slaves until the debts could be paid off, which actually was unlikely to ever have happened. And in her despair, this woman comes across the prophet Elisha, and she cries out to him, I need your help. I have these debts that need to be paid. My sons are going to be taken away so that they can pay off the debts. What can I do? How can you help me? And Elisha asks her a question. And it's a very simple question, but it's kind of the key to this story. He says to her, tell me what you have in your house. Tell me what you have in your house. And she says to him, well, all I have is this little bit of oil. Now, we're not going to go into the rest of the story right now. Maybe we'll look at it on another day. But I just want to point out the fact that God can take what we have and use it for him. And it doesn't have to be something that people might look at and think of as amazing. This was a little bit of oil, but it was enough for God to use. The prophet didn't look at her little bit of oil and say, what are you thinking, woman? God can't use that. That's insignificant. He told her exactly what to do with it so that a miracle could occur. And in this time when we are kind of sequestered in our homes, sometimes it is easy for us to think, what can I do? How can God use me? And I think God would ask us that same question. What do you have in your house? Do you have a phone? Then maybe you can text somebody a word of encouragement. Maybe you can call and check up on somebody that you haven't had the opportunity to see. Do you have a pen? Maybe you could write somebody a note. Do you have a car to go to the grocery store? Maybe you can pick up groceries for somebody. Do you have extra supplies? Maybe you could share them with your neighbors. I am convinced that just like God was able to use that small amount of oil that this widow had to perform a miracle, I am convinced that he can use whatever we have in our houses to accomplish his purposes for today. So look around and then say to God, here's what I have. How can you use it for your glory? I think you'll be surprised, and I think God's people will be blessed.